Opening up for Taylor Swift, it's like winning the lottery in music right about now. We all saw what happened to Sabrina Carpenter's career after she opened for Taylor last year. I mean, she blew all the way up. And now she's got the song of the summer with Espresso. Now it's Gracie Abrams' turn to have a hot girl summer, thanks to also opening for Taylor last year. Call it her post-Tay era. Gracie's even got the ultimate co-sign on her new album, The Secret of Us, from Taylor herself. That's right, the Empress of Errors collabs on their duet Us, which they co-wrote while just chilling at Taylor's apartment in New York. And it's not only the most anticipated song on Gracie's second album, but one of the most anticipated songs, period, of the summer. Does it live up to the hype? Yes and no. First off, this is not a single, y'all. This is an album track that, in theory, isn't meant to take away from Gracie's actual current single, Close to You. But of course, it does. Like many Taylor songs, it's, surprise, surprise, a breakup song, all about missing us, as in exes, not BFFs. It's kind of moody, kind of folky, sort of like folklore meets Midnights. And there's more references to poetry and literature, a la the Tortured Poets Department. It's a little weird that when they sing together, it's almost kind of hard to tell their voices apart. At least Gracie gets that first verse all to her damn self. But you know what? It's not fair that Gracie's album has become all about this Taylor song. Before this collab came along, she'd already earned the Best New Artist Grammy nomination on the strength of her 2023 debut, Good Riddance. But at 24, Gracie's one of a generation of young female singer-songwriters who no doubt have studied the Tao of Taylor. You can hear that all over her new album, which almost feels kind of like Taylor Unplugged sometimes with the acoustic vibe. They even have a similar vocal delivery. I'm sure Taylor can see her younger self in Gracie, and thanks to this swift kick in her career, all ears will be on Gracie now. I kicked off Pride Month with an in-depth interview with my boy Ben Platt. And it was right before he dropped his new album, Honey Mind, and he kicked off that residency at the Palace Theater on Broadway. Well, now that residency's over, he's taking his show on the road this week. But as we head into the last week of Pride Month, I wanted to look back on why he told me it's important for him to sing about men, make no bones about it, as the objects of his affection. Your new album,
yes,
is really special because it brings it back to like what it is to sing openly about gay relationships, using, male pronouns when you sing love songs. It's weird that it's kind of a radical concept even in 2024.
I know, it's weird.
But tell me about that and why that was so important to you.
I think it's always been important to me. Like, even when I made my first album, it was sort of like received as like a coming out, and it's not even something that I anticipated.
When did you come out?
When I was 12 or 13.
Oh wow!
So
way ahead of me.
I've been knowing. So, but I think I hadn't had the opportunity to talk about it because I'd been playing characters, and so all I had done as an actor is focus on, Evan isn't gay, and Elder Cunningham, Book of Mormon wasn't gay, etc. So it didn't relate to the art I was making, and so as soon as I started to make my own art and tell my own story, immediately it was irrelevant, because if I'm gonna write about my relationship or I'm gonna depict it in a music video, it's a queer relationship. So it was kind of a no-brainer to me, and then you said, I didn't really realize till after the fact that it was like still a somewhat radical and important thing, and something that doesn't come around very often. So to me, anything that's going to be universal that people are going to connect to has to be very specific, and so to tell my story specifically, you have to be clear about the queerness of the relationship. So I just always been an intrinsic part of my art.
Just a couple of blocks from where I caught up with Ben, we were in the heart of gay America, literally right across the street from Stonewall. Well, Sam Smith celebrated the 10th anniversary of their Grammy-winning debut in the Lonely Hour at Julius's historic spot, which is the oldest gay bar in New York City. Joining me now to dish all about it is Page 6 anchor and 103.5 KTU radio personality, Astra.
Thank you for having me. I
Anytime.
love being here.
Thank you.
And I absolutely love Pride Month and the parties that go along with it.
Yeah, this was a hot one. It was a hot ticket, and it was hot up in there as well. It's tight in there. This is a super small, old school spot.
How tight are we talking?
Like maybe no more than a couple hundred people, It was really exclusive. But I gotta tell you though, it's nice to you could feel all the history in the room. it really made it special.
Which they're also known for burgers?
Yes, yes. And there were sliders flowing everywhere. I might have had one or two.
Or three.
So yeah, so that was great. But even while the sliders were flowing, there was buzz that there might be a surprise guest.
Ooh, who was that?
My girl Alicia Keys.
Love her.
I know, me too,
It's been a while since I've seen her. It's been since she was pregnant with baby number 2.
Wow. But it was right before, a couple days before her big Tony moment. You know, she showed up. I was like, how are they gonna get the keys in here? It was that tight, right? But she had her keyboard, and they sang I'm Not the Only One, which is one of my favorite jams from In the Lonely Hours.
Oh, what a classic. Although not too old, 10
Not
years.
too old, no.
But still a classic and a fave.
I actually saw Sam for the first time 10 years ago this week at the
Where?
Apollo Theater. So it was a full circle moment for me.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah,
I love that.
it
I
was
feel like I just
special.
got chills thinking about that.
Yeah, and Mary J. Blige was a special guest that night.
So now Sam's gonna be dropping an album after 10 years?
Yeah. It's gonna be a special edition of In the Lonely Hour. It's out in August. I gotta check that out.
Oh, me too.
Mary J. Blige is on that too, I think. So
Oh, full circle
again,
moment.
another full circle thing. Lots of full circleness happening.
Well, thank you so much for having me join you
Anytime.
today.
Please come back. Come
I
back.
will.
All right. The music world, we lost a real angel when Angela Bofill passed away at 70 on June 14. In the late 70s, this jazzy R&B diva broke out with her debut album, Angie, and she followed it up with the masterpiece, Angel of the Night. Man, I wore that album out. When I think of Angela, one word comes to mind: unsung. She never got all the flowers that she deserved in this life, so let's give this angel her due as she kicks off my playlist of my top unsung artists. Under the Moon and Over the Sky, man, it's a masterclass in singing and songwriting that was an early precursor to the entire neo-soul movement. And I even got Angela to sign a copy of her Angie CD for me after a show back in the day. Check that out. Another artist who defined the neo-soul generation is Michelle Ndegeocello, who was actually signed to Madonna's label in the early 90s. This singer, rapper, and badass bassist, she's like the female Prince, or maybe even like that big sister who schooled Lauryn Hill. Check out her early single, If That's Your Boyfriend, He Wasn't Last Night. That's a title for you, right? And you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Another 90s queen who hasn't gotten all that real love that she should have is Lisa Stansfield. Yes, this Brit diva, she hit it big with her single All Around the World. Y'all remember that, right? Been around the world and I. Well, she never approached that level of success again. But Lisa is one of the few white artists to ever top the R&B charts. And when you listen to her hit All Woman, you can hear exactly how Lisa opened the door for other soulful Brits like Amy Winehouse and even Adele. My man, Van Hunt, wow, man. He staked his claim to fame with his Grammy-nominated single, Dust. He's kind of like Curtis Mayfield and a little bit of Sly Stone and maybe, some Prince. Again, Prince. Everybody loves Prince. All rolled into one. That's how dope he is. And yet, he never became as a big a star as he should have. Like Van, Damien Rice, he always felt to me like one of those artists who was destined for great things and Grammys and all of that when he made his debut with O in 2002. But somehow this Irish singer-songwriter, even with all those folky feels I love, he hasn't gotten the acclaim he damn well should have for songs like his debut single, The Blower's Daughter. And rounding out my unsung playlist, Rufus Wainwright. He was out loud and proud long before it was cool or even acceptable. And his cover of Judy Garland's Over the Rainbow from his 2022 album, It's Right on Time for Pride Month.